Well, hello, it's me, voiceover Julian, here with a little bit of extra drama from the drama story, the only drama story that I've really done here on this channel because I'm oddly fascinated by this person specifically. I love drama, but I like drama that doesn't pertain to me. I like drama that is not going to affect me or ruin anyone's lives, really. Like, there's so much drama out there and so many people covering it so excellently, and I don't have the energy. But this lady fascinates me. So I have a video about this already. Please go and check it out. I just wanted to add like a few more things that have come up and one thing that I noticed that I got wrong. So yeah, we're going to check that out. Brief recap of this person. This is an author who is republishing a book that she wrote a while ago and didn't like how it was going, didn't think it was maybe up to snuff, so she took it down, which you can totally do if you are a self-published author, and presumably she edited it again and is going to put it back up. However, she is treating it like it's a debut, and also she's made some questionable posts, and this is how she was brought to everyone's attention. She made a post talking about how she offed a dog in the book and is weirdly proud of it and weirdly thinks that people who love their pets are crazy. Also, the big thing for me, like whatever, feel how you want to feel about dogs, just don't come near my pets. The big thing for me is that she also made it very, very clear that she does not take criticism. No matter what she tells you, she does not take criticism. Like, I'm sure she will love a beta reader who blows smoke up her ass and adores everything in her book and maybe points out like one or two really easy to fix little things. But anyway, couple of things. One thing that I got wrong in the video and I wanted to clarify, I didn't exactly get it wrong, but then I was confused afterward and was like, did I get it wrong? And then there's been a couple of updates on her Goodreads, so we will look at that. But the thing that confused me afterward and made me wonder if I got it wrong is that I went and looked at her author profile on Goodreads and found that it was connected to a different author who looks pretty, like they don't look the same, but they are both white ladies with glasses. And I was like, well, maybe she's using like a lot of filters or something. Like in this day and age, I do not trust myself to recognize people on the internet. So I'm like, maybe it's the same person. It is not, in fact, the same person. So the person we're talking about, the Erin that we are talking about, is not the author that Goodreads has somehow linked her to. So if you go and look at her page on Goodreads, it will seem like she's written way more books than she has. The only book that she has written is actually this Dead Aware book. This was her debut book way back when she first published it. She's trying to pretend that it's like a do-over debut and she just gets to treat it like she's a debut author again. I'm sorry, you don't get to do that. You only get to be a debut author once. You could debut in a different genre. That's a thing. But like you don't get to like republish your debut book and be like, I'm a debut author all over again. No, honey. No. But somehow Goodreads has linked her to this other person, which is really too bad because this other person doesn't deserve to be brought into any of this. As far as I know, this other person hasn't gotten any backlash for it, but I do worry that they might just by being connected erroneously. I imagine this is a Goodreads mistake. I imagine that probably an algorithm or a robot has done this, although possibly a human has accidentally done this. She's not linked to this person on Amazon, so it's just Goodreads that has done this, but they are not the same person. The other person is not associated, as far as I know, with this Erin at all. So that was a point of confusion for me because I was like, has she written more books? These two people don't look alike, but maybe? Like, am I crazy? Anyway, but the new thing is that she has gotten a few more reviews. Crazy Dog Lady, that's what I call her, has gotten a few more reviews on her Goodreads and on her Amazon. The Amazon we'll talk about in a second, but it's one of those situations where it's like 5 stars or 1 star and like nothing in between really, which always makes me sus. Like, yes, books should have 5-star reviews, yes, books should have 1-star reviews, but if there's nothing in the middle, then I get really suspicious that it's just friends of the author and people who hate the author, and nobody's actually earnestly reading the book to tell me if it's any good or not. You know what I mean? A book needs all kinds of reviews, is my opinion. But the main one that I wanted to talk about is the review by someone claiming to be the guy that she went on the date with. That's the big thing, is that this person made a Goodreads review claiming to be the guy who dumped her because she didn't have an afterlife in her story for the dog. We have absolutely no proof that this is not. This could be literally anybody from the internet. We have no proof at all that this is the person that she met up with on the dating site or whatever. But we're going to read it anyway. We're going to read it and pretend that this is the person and just have fun with that idea with the full understanding that this could be literally anyone. They did give a 3-star review for some reason, I guess maybe to get noticed as like the only 3-star review, because this person did not read the book. So her reviews are going to be so confusing. That's the thing. Her reviews are going to be so messed up. You're not going to be able to tell whether this book is any good or not because of what she did. And that is a problem with getting the kind of attention that she's gotten. Like, yes, she's gotten a lot of attention and that is bringing attention to her book, but it is going to make her reviews so impenetrable that no one's going to be able to tell if they want to read her book or not. But anyway, let's read from Lavernus, who probably is not the guy, but you never know. So they say, so my youngest sister is very involved with the book talk world, eagerly telling me all different types of controversies, from the Goodreads 1-star fiasco to Colleen Hoover's money woes, but never once did I think I'd get involved with one myself. Yeah, I'm the guy the author had a date with and then ranted about it. Hi, y'all. Personally, I'd rather wash my hands of the whole ordeal, but I'm doing this at the behest of my sister, who will probably talk about this on TikTok somewhere. If anybody has a lead on the sister supposedly talking about this on TikTok, please let me know. I need to know. I'm not on TikTok at all. Another disclaimer, my rating is fake. I have not read Erin's book and I have no plans to. I do not read fantasy, nor do I support AI art covers. If that's your jam, cool, it's not mine. Yeah, she did have a cover that's pretty obviously AI art, at least on Goodreads she does. I'm not as certain about the one on Amazon because there's 2 different covers as well, just to be extra confusing. But probably AI is involved. Please just hire artists. And also, I looked at her like Instagram, Erin's Instagram, and she's an artist. She's learning to paint. So paint your own cover. Why is this a difficult concept for people? You're an artist, make your cover. You can do it. I believe in you. Anyway, not a fan of AI here on this channel. If you're an AI sympathizer, probably not going to have a good time here on this channel. Anyway, I'm going to continue reading. To begin, yes, I have 2 dogs, a German Shepherd named Rollo, whom I rescued after I caught sight of her owner dumping puppies on the side of the road, and Kit Kat, a mutt my buddy had to give up before being deployed. I've owned both dogs for about 6 years now, and I love them dearly. I met Erin on a dating app, and after some chit-chat, we agreed to meet up for coffee. It was a get-to-know-you-better sort of date, gauge each other's personalities, make small talk, that sort of thing. At first, everything was okay. We talked about our jobs, families, etc. Erin then brought up that she was an author, which I thought was very cool, because, you know, sister. I asked questions about her new book, and Erin gushed about her work. I did enjoy that. I could tell she had great pride, and we had a nice conversation about books. Then, out of nowhere, she said that the dog in her book dies and does not go to her book's heaven. Admittedly, it threw me off, because it was legit unprompted. I told her that was a shame, and maybe some people might be put off by that. I know my sister does not like to read animal death in any capacity, dogs or cats, or even fish getting fished. And that's when Erin went into a full rant about dog culture. I literally said nothing as she went on saying people treated their dogs like babies, and that dogs kill a lot of people a year, and that McDonald's got rid of their playgrounds because people kept letting their dogs loose on them. I'm still baffled by that. I finally mentioned that I had 2 dogs, and she rolled her eyes and said in a rather weird mocking tone, "Do you call yourself their dad?" I said I did, because I owned them since they were puppies. She shrugged and said, "Well, I don't like dogs." Yeah, I got that. By then, I had enough. I told her I don't think we're compatible, might as well end this now, and I got up and left. So that's basically it. I didn't end the date because she didn't like dogs. I know a lot of people who don't, and I respect that. It ended because she mocked me, made assumptions, and then mocked that too. I don't need that in my life. Thanks for reading. I'm going to take my babies out for a walk now. Ciao. So that was the whole thing. Like I said, we have no evidence that this is real. Also, it could have happened. That review, quote unquote, gave us no new information that the person who wrote it could not have gleaned from the post that she made. So it's very likely to be fake. but it's entertaining anyway. But now here's the other thing. I wanted to talk about her Amazon reviews, especially because we know she likes AI. She uses it in her cover, and I've seen other people saying that she uses it to do some of her writing. I have no proof of this. Just want to make that abundantly clear that I have no proof that that is true. The cover, however, does look very AI generated. Anyway, on Amazon, she did fix her blurb on Amazon. So her blurb does not say, he begins a frantic activism. It says he begins a frantic campaign. So the blurb on Amazon does have that fixed. However, it still stars a man who discovers the dead have awareness. So yeah, she's still not interested in making that blurb any more blurb-like. It's still an elevator pitch, and like if I saw this, personally, if I was interested in reading a book, like separate of everything else, and I saw that the blurb was such a bare bones, just one line, one sentence description, I would not want to read the book, because that would tell me that the author cannot be arsed. And if the author cannot be arsed even to try with their blurb, then they're certainly not going to try with their book. I know blurbs are hard, and a lot of authors struggle with them, but you got to do it. It's part of the process, at least if you're self-publishing. TradPub, somebody else writes your blurb for you, and you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. But self-publishing, you have to do it. I'm sorry. I do, as I mentioned in my other video, offer editing for your blurb. So if you want like me to look at your blurb and tell you what might make it stronger, very affordable over on my Fiverr, go check that out. But anyway, looking at her Amazon, I immediately got suspicious. And this is just my suspicions. I have to keep saying like allegedly my suspicions. I have no proof of anything. But looking at her reviews on Amazon makes me very suspicious that she's using either bots or she's just having her friends use AI to leave reviews. I did look at some of the reviewers and their profiles were very suspicious as well. So I think it's probably bots. She's probably paid for bots to leave her positive reviews on her book. I do not believe that most of these reviews are honest, and in fact, I believe that most of them are written by AI. Let's look at some. Now, this one is probably a friend of hers, this middle one, because it says though provoking instead of thought provoking. So I'm thinking that that was by a human, but probably by someone that she is friends with or knows, because it's very short. It's though provoking, very original idea, quite entertaining, recommended. That's the whole review. So that sounds like she was like, hey friend, can you write a review for my book? You don't have to write much. And they did not. But the one above and the one below, I'm very suspicious were written by AI, and it's just a vibe that I get. The first one by a William Wyris. This is a well-written book. I enjoy reading this type of book and is very thought-provoking. We have thought-provoking again. We had though-provoking in the other one. From the first page, it had me hooked. I thought it had a good ending. Well done. That tells me nothing, but it's vague and praising. And you know what likes to be vague and praising? An AI given a prompt to vaguely praise your book. Then we have JC here. Oh, by the way, both of these two reviews that I think are AI have intriguing in the title line. And I have noticed that AI, when it reviews things, likes to use words like intriguing. The Dead Aware is a novel about a man who suddenly realizes he has the ability to see the dead. It happened in Terrence's own bedroom, and also in public, where he alone could see them. He thought he was going mad and reached out to Karina, a psychic. That sounds like an AI summary, because it doesn't go anywhere. It's just like, he reached out to Karina, a psychic, and? So? What does that have to do? Like, why would that make us want to read or not read the book? What about that, like, intrigued you and made you want to give this 5 stars? It is a unique take on an interesting premise. There's unique again. The author added enough twists and dimensions to make it her own. Yeah, so vague and using certain words that I've come to associate with AI reviews. AI loves to use words like intriguing and unique because they don't mean anything ultimately. They don't narrow anything down. They're just praising words that sound cool. Now this one, which only gave the book 4 stars, still does sound like AI to me. I could be wrong though. This one does have a profile picture, so there's a chance that this was a human, although possibly a human using AI. If you believe in life after death, you must read this book. You will find the protagonist sees the dead where no one else can. The phrasing of "you will find that the protagonist sees the dead where no one else can" is a distinctly AI phrasing. He will try to convince everyone not to bury the dead because they are attached to their bodies for up to a year. That sort of information would be amazing in the blurb. That said, this can be a scary novel. This could be a scary novel. That implies that what you just told us about dead being attached to their bodies, isn't scary at all? The characters are well developed and bring many odd activities within the script. People don't write like that. Okay, yes, I know some people might, especially people who perhaps aren't native English speakers, so that's entirely possible. Like I said, this is all just vibes on my part, and this feels like AI to me. I could be completely wrong. So let's look at a couple more of these reviews. Again, this last one I'm gonna show you a lot of hallmarks of what I have found in AI reviews. Again, no profile picture. It just says good book. Author is very creative. Thanks. Helpful. And finally, from Thompson J, again, no profile picture, 5 stars, a mesmerizing dive into the afterlife. The Dead Aware captivates from page 1 with its unique concept and compelling narrative. So AI likes to use words like unique and compelling. We'll find some of the other hallmark words that I find that don't actually mean anything. Once again, I bring it back around to it doesn't actually mean anything. It's positive, but what does it mean? The story follows Terrence. Wow, it would have been great if we knew the character's name, in the blurb, who discovers the dead remain aware for a year after death, sparking a gripping journey of activism and supernatural exploration. The book excels in pure storytelling, blending eerie details with a thread of hope. The vivid world and atmospheric scenes. See, there's a couple more of those words, vivid, atmospheric, such as Terrence's unsettling encounters post-breakup showcase the author's descriptive prowess. Now, here's where I get a little bit conspiracy theory. I don't even know if there's a breakup in the book. And atmospheric scenes such as Terrence's unsettling encounters post-breakup, I don't know what the breakup has to do with the unsettling scenes, but theorize with me here. This AI is using real-world information about the author, like her post about breaking up with a guy over the dog thing. That's my theory. That's my wild speculation fan theory. The AI is actually getting this information about a breakup from the author's life. Crazy thought, I know. But anyway, apparently Terrence's unsettling encounters post-breakup showcase the author's descriptive prowess. What? Notably, the introduction of Karina, a web developer with psychic abilities, adds a layer of mystique. That is the most AI line I've ever read. The interaction between Terrence and Karina raises intriguing questions about the boundary between the living and the dead. That's the second most AI line I've ever read. This entire paragraph is so AI written, it's painful. The Dead Aware is a must-read, seamlessly weaving psychological tension and supernatural elements. In just 10 pages, the readers will be drawn into a world both haunting and hopeful. Highly recommended for those seeking a thought-provoking exploration of life beyond death. I am so certain that was written by AI. And knowing that this author uses AI makes me think that they are either paying for bots or creating their own sock accounts and using AI to write 5-star reviews of their books, which is considered bad form in the world of self-publishing. We can't stop you, but if I find out you're doing it, I am not going to read your book, and at this point, I feel fairly comfortable telling other people not to read your book as well, because that is scummy. All of my reviews are completely 100% earned by my book. So this is gross. It's gross and disgusting, and I hate it. So yeah, those are my follow-up thoughts on Crazy Dog Lady. She seems to be a very shady individual, and I would not read her book. However, you can read a sample of her book, and I might do that for my patrons. So, and patrons and channel members, you might be getting the sample of this book. That'll be a fun time. See, now looking at the cover of the Amazon version up close, it does look like she painted it. And she can paint. So why on earth are you still using an AI cover on Goodreads? What are you doing? I know for a fact that it's easy to go in and change your cover on Goodreads because I do it with my books. Unless it's become harder very recently, I suppose that's possible. But No. What are we doing, Aaron Lee? What are we doing? Using AI is what we're doing. Oh, I hate it. AI apologists, go away, find a different channel to hang out on. And I'm going to stop now because this is just supposed to be a little extra video for your enjoyment. And I'll see you when I see you for my regularly scheduled videos.